Today's featured book is Time is a Mother, the widely anticipated second collection of the awe-inspiring Ocean Vuong. It's no secret that Ocean Vuong is an incredibly talented writer. I've loved everything I've read from him. I've been blown away by everything I've read from him. His 3 books and his ridiculously long Instagram essay about metaphors, which was the subject and result of a very dumb Twitter controversy. To summarize that controversy real quick, Ocean was doing a Q&A on Instagram. Someone asked, "How do you make sure your metaphors have real depth?" In answering that question, Ocean provided some examples of metaphors he thinks work well, and some that don't work well. But his example metaphors were similes. And technically, metaphors aren't similes, but all similes are metaphors. So Ocean was completely right. But of course, those annoying poets waiting in the wings, you know the type, who wait for any writer of color to make a mistake so that they can jump on them and discredit their whole career, infantilize them, that whole thing. That happened, and so in response, Ocean posted an incredible 25-slide essay on the importance of metaphor and the history of metaphor on his Instagram story, and it's so amazing. I'll put a link to it in my description. Please check it out. Anyway, Ocean's amazing, incredibly smart, incredibly generous. I'm going to read a poem from the book now. This poem is called Dear Sara, and it begins with an epigraph that quotes Ocean's 7-year-old cousin, Sara. Dear Sara, what's the point of writing if you're just going to force a bunch of ants to cross a white desert? Cousin Sara, age 7. And if you follow these ants, they'll lead you back to stone tablets, an older desert where black bones once buried are now words, where I waved to you at 2:34 a.m. They survived the blast by becoming shrapnel embedded in my brain, which is called learning. But maybe I shouldn't talk like this. Maybe I should start over. Sara, I messed up. I'm trying to stay clean, but my hands are monsters who believe in magic. Sara, the throat is also an inkwell. Black oil wrung through your father's fingers after a day beneath the Buick. Say heartbreak and nothing will shatter. Say Stonehenge and watch the elephants sleep like boulders blurred in Serengeti rain. It doesn't have to make sense to be real. Your Aunt Rose gone 2 years now, like a trick they forgot to finish. And the air holds your voice as it holds its own vanishing. Maybe you are the true soldier, ant hoarder of what's so massive it could crush you into a twitching comma, Sara. Your name sharpens daily against the marble of your mother's teeth. There are sparks in every calling, and called, we press our faces to the womb till we're jokes on our way to cracking up. And maybe you're right, little Ant Queen, with your shoes the shade of dirty paper, white desert, your pink and blue pens untouched after all. Who can stare at so many ruins and call it reading? This family of ants fossilized on the page. You slam the book shut, look out at the leafless trees doused in red April rain, where none of us are children long enough to love it. Because it also mentions something a child said, I am now going to read you a poem from my dear friend and talented Arkansas MFA colleague, Victoria Hudson. This was published in the Winter-Spring 2019 issue of Dunes Review, and it mentions a Writers in the Schools trip that we took to an elementary school in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Welcome to Fort Smith, a bird sanctuary where life's worth living. I introduce myself to the classroom of 4th graders and write a list of poetry rules on the board. Be concrete. Be specific. These aren't really rules, I insist, because poetry doesn't have rules. This confuses them. I soldier on with a story about losing my dog. When I talk to children, I hardly know what I'm saying, to which they respond with enthusiasm. Any questions? Zoe crinkles her forehead and raises her hand. What do poems mean? My fingers feel cold. A few children shift in their seats. Poems mean the moment you discover my hair in the cuff of your sweatshirt. Hold it up to the light. They mean I found some of your shampoo under the sink today. They mean a refuge for brittle birds, for alcoholics, for people who love too seriously. Poems mean my father has been dead for 8 years and my mother is still angry. They mean Dolores isn't doing well. She's drowning all the time. It depends on the poem, I say, but they can see I don't believe it. All poems mean stay. Your prompt today is to write a poem around something you've heard a child say. something you've heard as an adult, as in the case of both Ocean and Victoria, or something a child said when you were a child, and use what they said to explore a larger truth. Thanks so much for joining me today. See you tomorrow for an ugly time. That's a hint about tomorrow's feature. Bye.